Now we know tropical systems are a quadruple threat. We have wind to worry about, storm surge, rainfall, and also the threat for tornadoes. Wind gusts 30, very strong onshore flow that is going to make that higher tide a little bit higher than normal. It's a very depressing looking system at the moment, which is good news for us. The whole reason that you have storm surge is because the winds are so strong. It's literally pushing water inland. Our mobile devices have been a little bit overwhelming with all of the alerts and advisories that are coming into place. The biggest disruptor to this rain that we're seeing in Debby is going to be dry air, gusting 30 to 35. They will be getting closer to 40, 45 by this evening. That crushed the previous record by more than 2 inches, and it was a pretty old record from 1943. We do still have that tropical storm warning in effect for our coastal regions. It does extend inland into portions of Horry County. We have seen wind gusts just a little bit below tropical storm force, which would be 39 miles per hour. None of the rivers are in minor flood stage yet. That is going to be changing, and likely some of those are cresting even after the rain has ended. It is just continuing to wrap around as we head into the evening and overnight hours. The rain is still going to be around for tomorrow. The winds are also going to get gustier and some showers along I-95 currently, so I hope everybody's traveling very safely right now. Saw a video of coastal flooding, and that was before the winds really began to pick up. The rain is going to be periodic, the high chance for flooding, 70% potential, and you'll notice a lot of the thunderstorm activity is displaced, so not the most organized storm. We're less than 24 hours away from Debby making landfall in the low country of South Carolina, pressed at 26.7 feet, and that's all the way on Sunday. Again, that's well after the rain has ended. This is not just a threat here for the southeast. Even as Debby moves away, even if it's weaker, it's still going to be impacting a lot of the East Coast. Flash flood emergency issued just over the border, technically outside of our viewing area, but 2 to 3 feet of water being reported downtown. Numerous roads are impassable in Florence County. Some of them are in the double digits in terms of rainfall, which of course not good news when we need somewhere for that water to go. And we could actually walk across portions of the river because it was just mud. There was no water, and now this same river is going into major flood stage. And we have a lot of tornado warnings that are popping up on this outer band, so funneling into Greenville, North Carolina. They're persistently issuing tornado warnings. The rainfall estimates to come, not as much for today compared to previous days, but this is on top of 4, 6, 8 inches of rain already pushing inland, and we already have flash flood warnings, even a flash flood emergency issued along the border belt. 50 homes could be inundated with these flood waters along the Lumber River because the rain. Of course, we're on day 4 of seeing rain across the viewing area. So overall, the threat is going to be improving, but it is still present for today, meaning rainfall totals are double or triple what they normally are over the past 30 days. Moderate risk for most of the Grand Strand, extending up through half of the PD. And thankfully, all of the tropical warnings have expired across the area, but we know that river flooding is going to be the primary concern as we head through the weekend. And 1,000 miles of tropical moisture. We were still dealing with some of that early this morning. The Lumber River surrounding Lumberton right now is already in major flood stage, so this is the first one to fill up a little bit faster.
Here's meteorologist Hannah Ronner with Viper 13 Real-Time Radar, sponsored by J&K Home Furnishings.
At 12:16, a rainy live look over downtown Florence. Not many people out and about. Can't be too surprising. There's numerous road closures being reported in the PD, not just in Florence, Lake City, and also Johnsonville, Marlborough County, all reporting some road closures as well due to flooded roadways and also just some hazards. So be mindful of that. It's 77 degrees, an abnormal temperature for the start of August, but can't be too surprising with rain and clouds. Winds are 15 miles per hour, and the beach forecast is still not good for today. There's maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people out on the beach for today. The waves are still at 6 to 9 feet, not an inviting look right now over the Grand Strand. Overcast 79, winds are sustained at 23 miles per hour, so you know your gusts are in the 30s. Viper 13 real-time radar, we can see where the center of Debby is getting ready to cross into North Carolina here shortly, but there has been pockets of heavier rain, a nice little stripe moving through North Myrtle Beach at the moment. It is pretty calm right now in Marlborough County, but the rain is still going to be looping back around, so it's not like it's just a one and done for today. There's going to be multiple rounds of rain, but also plenty of breaks. I even saw the sunshine break out. I got confused there for a second, forgot what sunshine was, but overall, we're looking at North Carolina. The rain is more persistent on on the northern side of this, the clouds as well. And we have that large tornado watch area with numerous tornado warnings being reported across central portions of North Carolina, none for our viewing area. And really our tornado threat is just going to be low for today. Topping headlines, of course, Debbie's landfall very early this morning. Its journey through the Carolinas and everything it's leaving behind. Again, the beaches are more concerned with the gusty conditions, and that rain is still in the forecast. A couple more inches anticipated for today, and then eventually we're going to have regular summertime storms for the weekend forecast. Those details will be coming up, but just know flash flood warnings have been issued, but also river flood warnings will be a concern for days to come. Meteorologist James Hopkins is here in the studio with those details.
Carolina, so these forecasts could change. Hannah.
Thanks, James. It is crazy to think that the Little Petey River, people were walking across it and it was just some mud, and now it's going to be going into major flood stage in the coming days. So that just proves that even after the rain has moved away, there is still going to be impacts from the system. And after it leaves the Carolinas, it may be down to a tropical depression. That doesn't mean it's not still going to be packing a punch, especially as it heads off to the northeast, bringing an increased flood threat for numerous states across New England. So it will be a depression later today as it moves past Raleigh, and it's going to be heading up into the mid-Atlantic, eventually crossing Pennsylvania, New York, and then up into Montreal. So Debbie will be dying out here shortly, but it's still not done once it moves away from the Carolinas. Our futurecast for the mid-afternoon, again, we have some slots of some heavier rain, but also plenty of periods where there's not much going on. A center of circulation crossing into North Carolina a little bit later this evening. The moisture is still wrapping around into the overnight. It's technically lingering for the first start of your Friday, but we will see a little bit more sunshine peeking out on Friday, and it's not going to be a completely dry weekend. We're going to have a cold front approaching for Sunday that will knock down humidity slightly, but overall, let's just worry about getting Debbie out of here before we worry about the weekend forecast. The wind gusts as we go through the overnight are still going to be gusting in the mid-30s closer to the beach, but then those will be calming down at less than 20 as we go throughout the afternoon on Friday, and winds are not going to be much of a story as we head into the weekend. But beyond that, that cold front again is going to be kind of hanging out, slow to move through, but overall the rain still is going to be around for Friday night and popping up again throughout the day on Saturday. The temperatures will be below average, right around 80 to 82. Not the best beach forecast. Winds south at 25 to 35. High surf advisory will remain in effect. Your 7-day forecast, temperatures will be warmer for tomorrow and actually fairly normal on Friday at 88 degrees. The impacts of that cold front will knock temperatures just a couple of degrees from Saturday to Sunday. Inland 90 for tomorrow, 88 to wrap up the weekend.